Hey guys, it's your man Daz here, and I'm joined by Petzergling. And this is the final group of the Lost Saga MSL Group D. It's the group of free plus some other people who you might have never heard of. Quanro, Doctor.K, and Ro32. And the first game here we got between Free and Doctor.K. It's a PvP on Destination, I believe it is. I mean, I would like to say that this is an interesting matchup, but probably we're just going to see Free slaughter this poor guy. If you guys are looking forward to seeing Free kind of totally dismantle some poor, unwitting Protoss, then I guess this is the game for you. I mean, personally, I'm a Free fan, so I like to see what he's going to come up with for this game. I can't imagine Doctor.K having much of a chance. I mean, you never know. We've been surprised before, but I've never heard of this guy. Have you heard of this guy? What do you think of Doctor.K?
No, man, I mean, his name is Bull T, I mean, one of his other AKs, and for some reason, I mean, it's really familiar. I can't, like, name who that guy is.
He was a top amateur, I think.
Was he? Like, maybe he played 2 vs 2 or something, but, I mean, he's here, I guess, and he's in the round of 32. I actually didn't watch any of his games in the round of 64, so I wasn't sure exactly how he got here, but 4-3, at least reasonable stats so far in the MSL. And, you know what? If there's a chance for an upset in this group, I would definitely say it would be this game, just because Doctor.K is just kind of a, you know, nobody's really heard of him yet, but I mean, he's a pro gamer and he's this far, so he might still have a shot. And Free, definitely a solid player. I wouldn't say one of the best Protosses, but definitely up there. But his PvP, I would say, was definitely his worst matchup. He's much well known for his PvZ and probably even for his PvT. And just for sinking 2-1-0, and Destination, I think, has produced a lot of really interesting games, and I think just like a lot of the other maps recently, I mean, this is definitely a keeper. I can see this map, even though I don't like Andromeda, I think it's definitely a good map, and it's been staying around for a while, and I think we might see a lot more of this map. It's been really popular among IC Cup and other, you know, just tournament sites, just because it's, you know, although not extremely balanced, it's still a really nice 1v1 map. You can have a lot of interesting games, lots of different, you know, proxy strategies, but also it can turn out to be a real big macro map. And one of the things I think, at least applicable to PvP, that I think is interesting is the bridges, where early goon pressure, you know, you have the ramp, so, you know, a 2-gate or any sort of early goon pressure might not be your best option, but with the bridges, if you have a military advantage early on, you can easily set up a contain around the natural, but it's easy to defend your natural as well once you get in there. So I guess, you know, that's probably the main factor, I'd say, in this map for the PvP matchup. We've seen a lot more different stuff, especially in different matchups like TVZ with the mech and stuff, but it seems like a pretty standard map so far from what I've been seeing in PvP.
Well, I mean, most of the builds are going to be the same. It's a standard 1-gate map. You're not going to see any 2-gating on this. Just as an interesting note for those of you who are wondering, maybe people who don't have so much experience in PvP, in terms of what maps are 1-gate maps and what maps are 2-gate maps, early on whenever a map is released, pro gamers will kind of play it, and they'll immediately figure out whether it's ever worth 2-gating on this map, and then, you know what I mean, whatever they figure out, whether it's a 1-gate map or it's worth 2-gating, they're going to figure that out right away, and every single game is going to be like that. You're never going to see a 1-gate versus a 2-gate. Almost never will you see that in a pro game. But the one interesting thing to note in this map, oh, just by the way, just want to mention the positions because we haven't done that yet. It's Doctor.K in the bottom right is teal, Free in the top left is yellow. They're both mirroring each other so far, except for the fact that Doctor.K got his second pylon a little earlier and he put it there to prevent the manor pylon. But the interesting thing about this map is, like you said, the bridges, and the bridges really do have a profound effect. They kind of change the game in PvP in the sense that a lot of the time PvP revolves around who's gonna take their natural first and who's gonna attack. Like, most games are decided like one player takes their natural and then the next player goes for the attack, or vice versa. And in this map is different from that because it's really almost impossible to attack the natural once it's set up. Once you get past having 10 or 12 goons, or once you get a reaver, it's practically impossible to get into the natural because those two bridges are so narrow, and having a good concave on the other side will just allow you to defend it way too easily. So it's much easier to take your natural and defend it, and that kind of gives this map a little bit of a different dynamic where we don't see that kind of early mid-game natural breaking sort of play. So this game either favors a much earlier ending in terms of some kind of heavy 3-gate rush before there's a lot of goons, or a DT or a quick reaver or it favors a late game. So, I mean, so far we can't really tell what we're going to see. Both players kind of mirroring each other. Both players still have the probe in each other's base. And I mean, you know, oh, getting a hit off there. Free's probe is actually really low
took 2 hits. Yeah, that's kind of surprising.
Really, yeah, for a pro gamer, you wouldn't expect that. Okay, Free putting up his second gateway while the probe is still in there, so he's giving away a little bit of intel, but it's not really a huge deal. Oh, and Free actually losing his probe. So that's kind of a big deal for him to lose his probe that early to Zealots. That's not something you would normally see in a pro gamer level PvP, and that makes a big difference because now Doctor.K is free to put down any kind of tech he wants, and Free won't know what it is. I mean, he could put down a Robo, a Citadel, or add maybe even a third gateway. It looks like he's putting down the second gateway. I don't think Free even saw that, so Free's playing totally blind. And it looks like, okay, now Free's gotten Doctor.K's probe, and now Free is able to put down whatever tech he wants. And we're probably going to see him put down a Robo or something right now. Or
yeah, it seems like Doctor.K is playing a lot. Oh my god.
Oh, there's the Citadel. He canceled range and he's putting
I hate
down the
Protoss
Citadel.
so much. Like,
oh, I love Protoss. Thank you, Free.
No. Well, it seems like Doctor.K is playing a lot more careful. He got that second pylon down really early and, you know, good position, although I think it's kind of a pussy way out to go for an anti-manor pylon. Neither player actually attempted or succeeded in a manor pylon, which is kind of surprising. I mean, Destination to me is like the manor pylon map. I usually fuck around on iCup and just manor pylon people just because of that one spot. You can completely wreck their entire build order with a single... No, but that's not fair. You know, you can't just build an anti-manor pylon. Like, manor pylon should be about micro. It shouldn't be, well, whatever. You know, that's just my opinion. I'm just fucking around. Like, obviously it was a good move for Doctor.K to go for that anti-manor pylon. Considering that I think the bottom position... Oh, taking some hits there on the Dragoon. Free's play seems kind of strange. I mean, we've been seeing Doctor.K go... Oh my god, a Nexus. So Doctor.K went for Nexus before Robo. Yeah, so unless he puts his Robo down like right now and cuts a goon, or you know for some reason puts down a Forge, there's no way he's gonna have detection on here. And I mean, this is pretty much a rock paper scissors death for Doctor.K. I'm kind of disappointed here. I mean, I think Doctor.K, you know, for the first 7 minutes of the game versus Free, looked pretty promising. Robo way down. So this is actually going to be pretty close. I mean, the Temple Archives is already up. So, you know, now that I'm thinking about it, I think these DTs are going to get in there. I mean, they might even be able to take out the robotics before the observatory is finished and the observer comes out.
Well, they're not going to get there that soon, but, I mean, the robotics is definitely too late. There's no way he's preventing this DT rush. They're going to get in, they're going to do damage. The only question is whether or not Doctor.K sees them or smells them in time and blocks his ramp and just loses Dragoons, or whether or not they actually get into the main. If they actually get into the main, okay, the DTs are already out. The robotics hasn't even finished yet, so these are definitely going to do damage. But yeah, like, it's just a big difference. If they actually get into the main, they can do so much more damage than if you manage to block them and keep them below your ramp. Because losing a few goons is not nearly as big of a deal as losing, I mean, massive amounts of probes and having them wreaking havoc. And I mean, you know, as far as this is concerned, like, it sucks for Doctor.K, but I mean, it's kind of his own fault because he should know that when his probe dies. Oh, he doesn't see it. The DTs are gonna get it.
This ramp isn't even blocked.
He just figured out. No, man, he had no clue. Oh, cute ramp block by Free there. That was pretty nice. I don't know why the DT's still there. He should definitely be going and doing some damage in the main there. Okay, the observatory's already up, so he's gonna get observers here, but he's definitely.
Oh wow, he's pushing him with his units.
For a bust on the
DT attack.
Yeah, pretty ballsy. Pretty ballsy move by Free there. Oh, Free, what are you doing? He needs to be back there killing probes with that DT. I guess he's just going to try to kill him and finish him off here. I don't know if that's a good idea. Doctor.K definitely built a lot of goons. Okay, this is going to be a pretty close battle. I think Free is going to manage to get it here, but Doctor.K could hold if he uses his probes and he micro as well. He's gotten, okay, yeah.
He's not using any of his probes for those goons, though. No, but still, he took out Free's entire force. But now... I don't know, so I mean, Doctor.K really didn't suffer too much damage there, but he lost, you know, a lot. He lost a lot there. I mean, I kind of expected with Free's attack there that, you know, Doctor.K maybe would have panicked and Free would have got, you know, some probes there. I mean, he did force Doctor.K. I mean, he's moving all of his probes. Look at that, 3 AFK probes there. And while he's going to go for the Nexus, if he gets the Nexus, I mean, Doctor.K has an Observer out right now, so there's no reason for him to get it. But for some reason, Doctor.K is chasing this Dark Templar and traps it in there, but his Nexus is in danger right now. Free rallying units. Well, I mean, if you lose the Nexus, though, it's game over. And Doctor.K getting out, this is going to be really close. I don't know if he's going to get